Our Women's Month profile feature this Saturday is Professor Kiveshnie Naidoo. Through humility and spirituality, she worked her way up the academic ladder from being a librarian to becoming an academic director at private higher education institution MANCOSA. Professor Naidoo is on Skype with us this morning to take us through how she broke the barriers and rose to success. Professor, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Sophia, and those that have. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Professor. Give us a brief breakdown of how you started as a librarian and progressed from post to post in your pursuit that led you to occupy the position you do today.
So firstly, where I come from a family of educators, and I always found that through education you create impact in life. And that is basically what I actually took in terms of how do I aspire to become a professional. I think that it's also important that you look at setting goals and believing in yourself, because that's basically what I had taken into account. That is how I've reached to where I am.
I mean, you come from a family of esteemed and successful educators. Would you say this has had some sort of influence in your dreams and ambitions to achieving the success that you have achieved?
I know that as little kids, we always want to aspire when we have role models amongst us. And I think that my mom, being an educator, was my role model, and I always felt that my mom had a very powerful hold of us kids through education. And that is the reason why I decided to do that. And I decided that I do not want to be educating the younger ones, but creating impact in that the older people that are in employment. That is why I looked at education as being sector side.
So throughout your 16-year career at MANCOSA, what would you say kept you strong and focused on your dreams and goals that you had actually set for yourself?
I think firstly, there were lots of people around me within the institution that believed in me and always encouraged me to achieve. And the one person that I would like to make mention of this morning is the founder of MANCOSA, who is Professor Yusuf Parodia. It was with his guidance, mentorship, that had encouraged me to achieve and stop at nothing, because obtaining a professorship is not an easy one. But he believed that that could be it. And I had traveled to the university in Novosibirsk in Russia to obtain my professorship. It was all through his guidance and mentorship.
And do tell us more, Professor, about your belief that emotional intelligence and cognitive intelligence in the workplace go hand in hand to ensure a healthy and a motivated workforce.
Well, I think that I've tried that with my children personally, and it worked very well because both my kids are graduates. And I felt that I should be taking it back into the workplace, because we deal with a very diverse group of individuals. And it's not about your IQ, it's about your being human about your approach, understanding people's challenges, and more especially giving them support, because that's what's most important.
Share with us some of the challenges that you faced and still continue to face as a career woman on a daily basis, and how you overcome them.
So basically, as women, we have to juggle two things. We've got to be a mother, a wife, and a family member. And we've also got to perform in our professional careers. For me, the challenge was that being a woman, firstly, it was something that seemed to be some kind of a hindrance toward achieving. You had to continuously prove yourself in terms of saying that what I'm putting out there is basically what I am talking from experience. The other challenge is that you've got to keep long hours, you've got to juggle your time between your family, you've got to ensure that you do your best at both. But I think that what did allow me to overcome these challenges was that I was motivated and I was grounded. I set my goals and I worked towards.
Okay. All right. And let's talk about the role of mentorship, especially for young females, and how such can help open doors for more women, particularly in your field of work.
So what I basically do is that I look at leadership being a very important aspect in terms of people being able to position themselves, to create a brand for themselves in the workplace or even at an institution that you're studying in. So if I look at what needs to happen, I think that leadership should be something that has to be given to everybody. It's not unique only or should be only targeted toward women. It should be, everybody should be empowered with leadership. Everybody should also be empowered with working towards becoming entrepreneurs. And I think that empowering women is something that I am very, very passionate about. At the institution that I'm currently at, I'm always very supportive. I play the role of supporting them, especially encouraging them to achieve in terms of the educational qualifications. I also get very excited when women are able to put research out there. When people, even my colleagues, appear on television, it may seem that it's not a big deal, but I get really excited to see women around me achieving. And I continuously serve that role of mentorship and empowerment. And I think that is what is needed and is important today.
Okay. Now, Professor, just before I let you go, you are a self-confessed bookworm. So what role do you think this passion played in your career and the importance of literature really as a tool of empowerment?
Well, at our institution, we take reading very seriously. We have a book project that we are doing, and it resonates very closely with MANCOSA in terms of saying, in order to be educated, you've got to read. Unfortunately, the kids of today do not see the importance of that. And I think that becoming a renowned researcher is only through reading, to exposing yourself to what is really out there and establishing what is it that you want to do with research and how do you make a difference in society.
Professor, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, that's our Women's Month feature this morning. Professor Kiveshnie Naidoo, she's been speaking to us about her journey from being a librarian to becoming an academic director at MANCOSA. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.